There's been another twist for India's economy. Rather than turning around, the slowdown has become more drawn out. It makes doing business fraught with challenges, particularly for manufacturers like Ravan Cables. The firm makes industrial electrical cables, which it supplies to some of India's biggest power companies.
In the terms of problems are that the demand is dipping because there are a lot of stalled infrastructure projects which are not taking off the ground. A lot of power projects are stalled. Growth in terms of demand is not happening, compounded by the fact that imports are increasing.
Scenarios like this are often faced by Indian companies, and it all adds to the downward drag on the economy. Official estimates suggest that economic growth has dwindled to just 5% in the current fiscal year. If these projections do turn out to be true, then India will have seen its slowest pace of growth in a decade. The government, though, is optimistic that the worst is over, and its forecasts that growth will pick up again to more than 6% in the year ahead. But is this realistic? Only 2 days after issuing that forecast, and on the same day as the budget, official figures showed that over October to December, GDP growth had slumped sharply to a mere 4.5%. A slowdown in mining and manufacturing were to blame, along with the impact of last year's late monsoon on agricultural output. The pace of growth hasn't been this slow in any single quarter since the financial crisis hit hard in early 2009. So is the forecast for an economic revival credible?
To get a sharp acceleration from 5 to 6.5 is going to take a very big pickup in the investment cycle. So it's not an impossible number to reach, but it will depend very largely on how aggressive and active policy making is to get investment off the ground. For me, the most important sort of variable will be this new cabinet committee on investment headed by the Prime Minister, whose only role it is to try and de-bottleneck many of these projects that are stuck on the ground. If that committee delivers aggressively, we will see a meaningful growth pickup much later in the year, towards the end of 2013, early 2014. If, however, it's business as usual, then I'm afraid I don't see a big pickup in GDP growth next year.
There's certain to be calls for the central bank to cut interest rates again to help stimulate growth. Experts say, though, that government will need to implement its policies in a meaningful way if recovery is to take hold. But it remains in question whether India can bounce back to the high growth path it used to follow.